From Leader of his party.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we're coming into the season when families take on home improvement projects, and this year with skyrocketing heating oil prices, which, by the way, don't have a carbon tax attached to them, and they've still increased by 69%, no carbon tax, and increasing costs of electricity year in and year out, families need help this summer to figure out how they can reduce their heating costs and make them more affordable. PEI, the home of the Toonie Transit, enabling their people to travel around the province on public transportation, has come up with another novel approach to help people afford their home heating. Premier King's government is providing families with a household income of less than $55,000 with a free heat pump. If their income is below $35,000, they don't even have to front the money for that heat pump. Will the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy institute a similar program here in New Brunswick, funded by its carbon tax revenue? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Natural Resources and Energy Development.
Mr. Chair, to the member opposite, we had an opportunity in two different sessions, and again today we're looking forward to debating a bill that discusses the very subject of creating efficiency targets and putting long-term and sustainable funding behind projects for not just electrically generated heat in homes, but for non-electrically generated heat in homes as well. We're putting a bill in place where to set targets to reach those efficiencies, and that's never been done before. To say that the province of New Brunswick is actively addressing and finding ways to find efficiencies to help New Brunswickers would be an understatement. See, there's byproducts that come from that. We're going to work towards putting efficiencies in place that's going to help relieve customers and energy consumers in the province of New Brunswick, but also it's going to help us achieve our overall goals of reducing the emissions required to go into the homes to heat them. So we've got a 1-2 punch that's going to benefit the environment and the province.
Member for Fredericton South and Leader of his party.
So, Mr. Speaker, no Toonie Transit and no heat pumps. Those are the answers, I guess. But you know, right now, to fill a barrel of oil with a barrel for heating oil, you're looking at minimum almost $1,000. Minimum fill-up. Minimum order, $1,500 to fill an empty tank. Scraping that amount of money together for a lot of people is impossible, very difficult. So one has to say, what is this government doing to make heating costs more affordable? One of the things would be to help people with the upfront costs of replacing leaky windows, cold drafty windows, insulate basements, because for most people it's difficult to find or impossible to find that money to cover the upfront capital costs, even though the payback is rapid. So will the Minister of Natural Resources announce a zero-interest financing program for New Brunswick families to upgrade their windows and insulation, which they can pay back through their annual energy savings?
Minister of Natural Resources and Energy Development.
Mr. Speaker, to the member opposite, although it's only been a few short years I've stood here in the legislature, I've never been in the habit of making announcements during question period, and that will continue. But what will continue as well is the work that we do to make sure that we achieve those goals of efficiency, to achieve those goals of cost effectiveness here in the province of New Brunswick. For 4 years, I've been saying that we've got almost 75% of New Brunswick heated with baseboard heaters. We're working with the utility to create programs to help in that conversion. We have audit programs right now that allow us to go in and examine where we can become more efficient as it relates to the generation or the implementation of energy in our homes. We have done a lot of work. We have a lot more work to do. In fact, it's evidenced by the fact that we were sitting here last night and will be continuing today to talk about doing something that's never been done, and that's putting efficiency targets in place to make sure that we don't just talk about it, we actually do something about it, and action is what counts when it comes to that file.
The member for Edmundston, Madawaska-Sault.